JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with family and friends today. Now on to the news. Man shot dead, 2 others injured in flanker. The St. James police are investigating a matter where 3 men were shot, 1 fatally in flanker, Wednesday morning. Preliminary reports are that at about 8:25 a.m., the 3 men were set upon by unknown assailants who opened fire on them on Churchill Crescent in the community. When the shooting subsided, the 3 men were found with gunshot wounds. 1 man has since died, and the other 2 taken to hospital with injuries. The identity of the dead man has not yet been ascertained. Man gunned down in Red Hills, St. Andrew. The St. Andrew North Police are investigating the murder of a man along Blue Mountain Road in Red Hills on Tuesday. The deceased has been identified as 26-year-old welder Marlon Newsome of a Blue Mountain Road address. It's reported that at about 7 a.m., residents heard explosions and summoned the police. Upon arrival, the police discovered Newsome along the roadway lying in blood. The Constant Spring Criminal Investigation Branch is probing Newsome's death. 1-year-old boy survives Cherry Tree Lane Massacre. The 1-year-old boy was shot and injured by gunmen in the Cherry Tree Lane Massacre in Clarendon on Sunday, August 11, has survived the attack and has been released from hospital. The baby is okay now. And mother said it was only graze. He's at home and okay, a resident from the community said on Tuesday. The resident shared that only 1 person remains in hospital, while one of the injured individuals will return to remove a bullet from one of his arms later this week. The bullet lodged in one arm right above the elbow, the resident said. She shared that the mood in the community has been tense ever since the massacre, which was followed by the declaration of a 96-hour curfew in the area and then a state of public emergency in the entire parish of Clarendon. The deadly attack at a birthday celebration outside a bar in Cherry Tree Lane sent shockwaves across the country and overseas as it resulted in 8 deaths. 9 other people, including the baby, were shot and injured. TikToker Wakidon charged with murder. 19-year-old TikTok content creator Tevin Gale, otherwise known as Wakidon, of Cook Street, Savlamar, Westmoreland, has been charged with murder. He is charged in relation to the stabbing death of 18-year-old Devontae Hutchinson, otherwise known as Bolt, on August 16. Reports were that at about 11:30 p.m., Hutchinson and Gale were having a physical altercation, arising from an earlier incident with one of Hutchinson's relatives, during which Gale ran away to escape injury. However, Gale later returned to attack Hutchinson, during which he inflicted stab wounds to Hutchinson's left side, right arm, and right lower back before escaping on foot. The police were called to the scene after residents saw Gale running from the scene. Hutchinson was assisted to hospital where he was pronounced dead while undergoing treatment. On Saturday, Gale turned himself into the police in the presence of his attorney. He was subsequently charged on Tuesday after a question and answer session. Alleged robbers charged by St. Andrew Police. 2 alleged robbers were captured by the police on Holdope Road in St. Andrew on August 9 have been charged. They are 22-year-old Alex Bailey, a mechanic of Glassball Avenue, Kingston 2, and a 19-year-old O'Shane Wood, a mechanic of Locos Road, Kingston 2. Both men have been charged with robbery with aggravation. The police say about 2:30 a.m., a man was riding his bicycle along Holdope Road when Bailey and Wood, who were traveling on a motorcycle, allegedly pounced upon him. Wood was a pillion passenger, reportedly used a knife to rob the man of his belongings. An alarm was raised, and the Bailey and Wood were intercepted by the police as they attempted to escape. They were subsequently charged on Monday. JPS cancelled bills sent to some customers without power after burial. Jamaica Public Service customers who received estimated bills but were without power for the billing cycle during and after Hurricane Beryl will have their bills zeroed. The announcement was made by Energy Minister Darrell Vaz during a press conference on Wednesday.
In cases where estimated bills were sent out to persons who had no supply, JPS will cancel these bills and generate new bills representing zero consumption and therefore $0 owed for those bills. And there are several of them out there. We have been hearing about them from the first time of the estimated bills that were sent out some weeks ago. So again, this is good news. It means that for those persons who have not had their lights restored, that were affected by burial, that received estimated bills or any other kind of bills, those bills will be zero rated, and therefore there will be no funds owed to the JPS on those accounts. As of yesterday evening, 3,247 customers remained without electricity, with 34,549 customers already restored within the parish. JPS continues to navigate factors such as the weather and the terrain, but remains on track to meet, let me repeat that, remains on track to meet its commitment to the government to achieve full restoration of electricity services by August 31st.
Teacher migration and COVID-19 blamed for poor performance in critical C6 subjects. President of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, Linvern Wright, is theorizing that teacher migration under the COVID-19 pandemic are at the center of the dismal performances registered in some critical Caribbean Examination Council C6 subjects this year. This comes following the official release of results by CXC on Tuesday, where a 36% pass rate was registered across the region for mathematics, down from the 43% recorded in 2023. Wright contends that while student performances were already on the decline, these traumatic events have compounded the issue.
So many departments now maybe are manned by even less experienced persons. Doesn't mean that they don't have it. The other thing that we have to pay attention to is that it wasn't even high before. Right? So for example, I don't think more than 25% of our students come into high school ready for mathematics. But you do 4 years over a kind of traumatic period. And it might get worse, especially because of the fact that our teachers have continued to migrate. There's no opportunity for you to have a stable program because the personnel are so important to ensuring that you have that. So some schools will be fine because one of the things is that when a child comes ready, there's usually very little that can stop that child. But when a child comes in COVID needing some remedial work, where their teacher is gone and they were weak already, these are the kind of results I think you will get. And I think it has affected everybody across the Caribbean. I think we're struggling a little with writing. The university will tell you that they have the fundamentals of English there, English for academic purposes, because people are struggling even after doing CXC with writing well, because that's what academia is about. Want to emphasize at my school, I want to recommend to the whole Jamaica that if we don't do more in terms of getting our children to be writing, and sometimes a whole period, they may just need to be writing, and you're just helping them to revise. To understand that these are the things that are critical to them doing better, even overall. Because it might even help them in mathematics. It will help them in mathematics because they can put things together and reason it through and be logical and be fluent. We need to be spending more and putting better personnel in primary schools. But when you have these kinds of deficiencies and all your spending in terms of operational expenses is 1,700 or 2,500 per year per child, you're going to have a challenge. When primary school teachers have to be fundraising in order to ensure that schools can go forward, you're going to have a challenge because the time you should be spending for intervention and the kind of sustained attention that the children need, you can't get to do it. And the truth too is that we have got to hold ourselves more accountable. Sufficient is not happening in the inputs to ensure that we get what we want. So it's not that is failing. PEP and CXC don't fail anybody. You fail PEP and CXC if you're not properly prepared.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.